Duke Nukem 1 is a 1991 2D side-scrolling run-and-gun platformer that is a surprisingly solid game and a more forgotten and overlooked piece of Duke's history, as many people think that Duke Nukem 3D was his first game. Developed and published by 3D Realms, then Apogee Software, this is an enjoyable game and a pretty laid-back title for the time. I personally expected this to be way harder than it is, since a lot of games from this time period, at least to my generation, are known for being brutally hard, and I expected something more akin to Earthworm Jim difficulty-wise. But no, this is a relatively easy title, and I am a younger gamer if you can't tell, and Duke 1 is way older than I am. Anyways, I personally played this with the Xbox One controller, which mostly worked well, as you can move, jump, and shoot with a modern controller, but you will have to use your keyboard to save, press enter from time to time, and to pause. But other than this, Duke is fully playable with the Xbox controller. I did also try the keyboard controls, but I didn't like them. Now I will note that you have to recalibrate the controller every time you boot up the game, as it sadly doesn't remember that you have the joystick settings turned on. But this was a small inconvenience that didn't have any real negative effect. Getting into gameplay, it's a pretty self-explanatory game. You shoot enemies, collect quest items like keys, earn points by picking up things like footballs and balloons, find the exit, rinse and repeat for 30 levels. Pretty straightforward. But going a bit deeper into things, I would like to first cover combat. In this game, unless I miss something, you only have one gun, being an energy blaster, and it has unlimited ammo. But you can find upgrades, which seem to increase your damage and rate of fire, and every episode resets your upgrades and equipment, but more on equipment later. For Duke's enemies, this title has a pretty fair roster of baddies. While most are robots of some kind, there are also wall slimes that can hit you, and a lot of opponents have ranged attacks. Now, one thing that I found hilarious were the Energizer Bunny enemies. I'm not sure why these were added, but I thought they were hilarious, and their attack is to bum rush you, hit you, and then self-destruct. As for collecting quest items, which I mentioned, these are mostly just color-coded keys, and the occasional computer chip needed to turn off force fields. Then there was Duke's equipment. As the game progresses, you'll need to find things like power boots, which increase your jump height, or a grappling claw, needed to climb on certain areas, and I was pretty impressed by these things. Moving over to other topics, collectibles and consumable items. Collectibles don't do anything but increase your score and are cool things like small flags, footballs, the letters spelling Duke, balloons, joysticks, and other neat goodies, and whenever you come across a blue box, it is guaranteed to have a collectible in it. Likewise, red boxes will always have food items, being soda cans and turkey legs, both of which restore 1 bar of health. But if you shoot a turkey leg, it then becomes a full turkey, which restores 2 HP. On the other side of things, if you shoot a soda can, it explodes, and you lose it. So you gotta be careful to not open fire on these. Of course, you can find these items just lying around and not only in boxes. But if you see a red box, you know that there are healing items inside. And finally, the third type of box in Duke Nukem was the gray box. These could hold a lot of things. Could be good, could be bad. Could be something that you need to finish the level, so you did have to search these crates, but do so with caution, as you didn't know if you were about to find a atomic health power-up, which refills your HP to max, or a lit bundle of dynamite, which can obviously explode and damage you. Apart from dynamite, Duke has plenty of other hazards for you to avoid, like pointy spikes that you can step on, some sort of a spiky rock, and more. which I think does bring me to mention something kind of related, and that is not being able to see very well due to the screen resolution, or the screen size if you prefer. While Evercade's remasters support modern widescreen resolutions, I played the original game on PC, which doesn't, unless I'm an idiot and I overlook something. But anyways, this limited screen size obviously hindered your visibility, and while not as frustrating as in something like Marathon, it could be annoying, as you'd sometimes have to take educated leaps of faith into unseen areas where you could miss platforms and or have half a second to react to a dangerous situation. Of course, this wasn't game-breaking, but your limited FOV could be a hindrance at times, especially on the final level of the game. Moving on to other things, I would like to brush up on the story. In a nutshell, Duke Nukem saves the world from the evil Dr. Proton, and the story is told in simple cutscenes at the beginning and end of episodes, and Proton is the boss you fight at the end of every episode or every 10th level, and his boss fights were pretty short if I'm being honest. As for the length of the game itself, I wasn't timing it, but I believe it took me less than 8 hours to get through all 3 episodes, so a fair length video game. Graphically, I love all of the background pixel art, and everything looks really good for the time. That said, this game sadly has next to no music, so no legendary grab bag theme. Duke Nukem does, however, have some pretty good sound effects, although a couple were annoying, but most were enjoyable. And I think before I give this retro PC game its final grade, I would like to note that you can only save your game in hallways between levels, and I did forget to save my game every now and then I would die and be sent back multiple levels. This kind of makes me think how much hand-holding modern games give us, with checkpoints and autosaves. Oh, you forgot to save? No worries, autosave has your back. Oh, you died? No worries, there are 5 checkpoints in every level. Versus older games, you die once in a level and you gotta start the whole thing over, unless you forgot to save, and then you're pushed back even further. And then the PlayStation boss says that modern games are too hard. Anyways, I give this title a 8.5 out of 10 by my grade scale. A very pleasant blast from the past with a very fair price of $4. Although I want to say I got it on sale, and this title is a PC exclusive to the DRM-Free storefront Zoom platform, my personal favorite place to buy digital PC games. And while I would take any of Duke's first-person shooters and Manhattan Project over Duke 1, this is still a very cool game that I suggest any Duke Nukem fan try at least once. And again, it's only $4. As far as similar games I could recommend, I don't know, maybe Booger Man and or New Super Mario Bros. Now, a little side note apart from my review, if what I read is true, Duke's last name was originally spelled Nukum, and not with the EM as we know him today, because the devs thought that the EM spelling was copyrighted. But when they learned that it wasn't, Duke was given the name spelling that we all know and love today. Man, it is crazy how far Duke has gone, starting out as this little tiny platformer that turned into this. Alrighty, well, that is my review itself for today. Thanks for stopping by and for putting up with my bad voice. For those new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, but I do cover other devices sometimes as well, like today. and I will have some vids that you might enjoy in the end cards. As for our Bible verse of the day, I read Psalm 47:1 NIV. Clap your hands, all you nations. Shout to God with cries of joy. Okay, well, that is all for now. Like always, none of my content is made by robots, and I do not consent for my voice and likeness to be copied and altered by robots in any way. God loves you all. Take care. Peace.